Hey everyone, and welcome to another week of Kinder Chat. The next 2 weeks, I'm going to be sharing more about how to teach consonant blends, digraphs, and CVCE words in kindergarten. So a lot of you may be thinking that kindergarten, you really only go to CVC words. However, a lot of your students will be ready for more of a challenge, and I've always found that teaching those 3 phonics skills has been super important for when they move on to first grade, because they already have that basis and they do so much better in first grade. So this week I'm going to share a little bit more about consonant blends and digraphs in kindergarten. So first of all, consonant blends and digraphs are different. So digraphs are 2 letters that make 1 sound. So like SH, TH, CH, WH, PH. They all make only 1 sound, whereas blends are 2 letters that make 2 sounds. However, they're easily blend together, hence the name blend. So these might include BL or FR or SM consonant blends. So they're always 2 consonants together. Typically you'd see L blends, R blends, and S blends. So with L blends, L would be the second letter. With R blends, R would be the second letter. And then with S blends, S would be the first letter. So that is the difference between consonant blends and digraphs. In kindergarten, I would teach them together, but not at the same time. So first I would introduce digraphs. So these are the digraphs that I would work on in kindergarten. The first thing that you want to teach your kindergarten students with digraphs is the patterns. So I would do this just by using these flashcards. So it has the digraph at the top, it has a picture, it has the word that labels the picture with the digraph underlined. And we would just go through these every day, practicing the sounds. You want the students to be familiar with these digraph patterns. So first you want to work on identifying the digraph. So being able to hear the digraph orally, which is phonemic awareness, and then later on being able to sound out words with these digraphs, which would be phonics. Now, once they're able to do that, you are able to start having them blend and decode words. So I always suggest that you start with digraphs with short vowel words, because they've already read short vowel words. They know the word hip. So instead of hip, they would say ship. So usually just focusing on CVC words and spelling the digraph words with the CVC, with the VC ending, is kind of where you want to go with those. So with digraphs, I usually spent about 2 weeks teaching digraphs. I went through each digraph for a couple of days, practicing identifying the pattern, reading them in short vowel words, and then even spelling them. Some students were able to read them in with long vowel words or with even R-controlled vowel words, just depending on the student. So after those 2 weeks, I would move into consonant blends. It's a very similar skill because you are going to be pairing them with those short vowel words. So with consonant blends, there are a lot more that the students need to learn, but they are a little bit easier to sound out. So again, you have your L blends, you have your R blends, and then you have your S blends. And I always printed these 2 visuals. I have a freebie for you below that you can download. And I always printed these at a much smaller size and stuck them to their desk. So they'd be side by side. They could easily refer back to them. If they heard a sound that sounded like kl, they would see that the CL makes the kl sound. So with these, I would do the same thing with digraphs. I would introduce them to each blend. We would do L blends for a week, R blends for a week and then S blends for a week. I would introduce them to all of the L blends at once, then all of the R blends at once, and all of the S blends at once. And then each day we would really focus on a couple of the blends. And at the end, I would have a little review week where we would review all of the blends. So I would teach them that so they're able to decode those words quickly. So first, teach the pattern. Second, practice decoding words with those short vowel words like crib and skip. And then you can move on to spelling words or even trying to decode words with a little bit trickier vowel patterns or R-controlled vowels, depending on your group. So with the consonant blends and digraphs, that is what I focused on. I wanted to make sure that my students had a solid understanding of them, but I knew that in first grade they would revisit both of these skills more in depth and they would have even more practice. But once your students are able to blend CVC words and they have no problem spelling, using them in their writing, I think it is definitely important to challenge them with digraphs and consonant blends. If you are interested in teaching digraphs and consonant blends in your kindergarten classroom, but you don't have it covered in your curriculum, don't worry. I have a consonant blends and digraphs unit just for kindergarten. So these lessons are based on what will work for your kindergarten students. There are many different ways you can differentiate and different centers and worksheets and assessments that you can use to teach your students so you don't have to reinvent the wheel and create it on your own. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about teaching consonant blends or digraphs in the classroom, I also have some blog posts for you that you might find helpful with different activities you can try and some freebies in there as well. So please like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next week. Bye.